Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 reasons why Cardano could be about to break the internet. Lots to dig into. Let's go. So we're going to start here on coin market cap, and I have some big expectations for this crypto market. Obviously, at the moment, the market has pulled back 3.04%. Total market cap of crypto globally sits at $3.65 trillion, with Bitcoin back at 107,784.94, down 3.16% in the past 24 hours. Cardano, if I can get my words out, is at 64 cent 21, down 4.41% at the time of recording. So that kind of gives you an idea and a gauge of as to where the market is. Fear and greed index at 33 is in fear right now, but I have no fear because there are at least 3 reasons why I believe Cardano ADA is set to moon. And obviously, it's just my opinion, not financial advice. Treat this purely as entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, because you do risk losing it all investing in cryptocurrency. So, look, I waste no more time. I'm not the only one that's eyeing some big moves for Cardano ADA. Early Bitcoin investor sees Cardano breaking past the $3.10 mark, its previous all-time high. So, yeah, this is Bitcoiner 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗃𝗃. Citing strong fundamentals and ecosystem growth as the reasons behind this. And look, I'm of the same thinking. I believe that Cardano has a really strong, future. I think the fundamentals of this project are far superior to many others. I'm not alone in my thinking for this, and ultimately, time will tell whether we're right or wrong. Nothing is guaranteed, right? But the ecosystem is growing. So I think that there are signs that are there. Now, there are other projects, and on-chain metrics show Sui is driving more activity than Cardano at the moment. Sui leads Cardano in trading revenue and active users, while market cap remains behind. So, look, I think that Sui is doing some fantastic stuff. They use the Move programming language. It's a very strong programming language. But I do, put this out there that a lot of these projects, will be, very, very well regarded in the future, right? And what I'm talking about is I believe that there will be many winners. There won't be one project that just takes everything. Like, I don't think Ethereum is going to be, the best blockchain for absolutely every use case. Same goes for Cardano, and certainly the same goes for Sui. But Sui, the fundamentals are strong for Sui at the moment. We've got Ethereum ETFs impact on altcoin volatility and market dynamics. A really interesting article. Bearing in mind, my thoughts, my opinions are that we're on the cusp of one really, really big, altcoin season, and I think that the spot ETFs are going to be the main reason behind the success or the lack of success when it comes to some of these altcoins. I think the likes of Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, Chainlink, Sui, just to list a few, are going to go on to do really, really well with spot ETFs. We're just waiting for them to be signed off. And this is something that I've said I believe is inevitable. I don't think that, we can sit here now thinking that this isn't something that's actually going to come to fruition. And there's, thoughts in my mind that, the shutdown within the US government and stuff like that is really just to help get these lower prices in. And I've said many times, the lower we go, the higher I believe we're going to go in this bull run. And I do think that this is going to be the biggest bull run in crypto history. Now, I'm sounding really bullish. Obviously, take what I say with a pinch of salt. Treat this, content as, entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. There's no substitute for it. I'm not a financial advisor, so I just want to be clear on all that stuff. But yeah, look, the volatility is across the board. It isn't just altcoins, but the altcoins with the strongest fundamentals, the ecosystems that have been developing the most, are going to be the ones that go on to do really well. Now, what I would say is that Cardano is fundamentally stronger than when it was at its previous all-time high. I really do stand by that statement. So it's going to be really, really interesting. The future of blockchain, Cardano explained in this article. Again, not something that I really want to go into too much detail on, but Charles Hoskinson obviously was the co-founder of Ethereum, and ultimately he's taken all the learnings from what was going potentially wrong back then with Ethereum, and put it into the build for Cardano. And obviously you've got the scaling solution, more transactions per second than even MasterCard and Visa. So this is going to be a really big deal. It's going to make a really big difference, particularly when it comes to DeFi. You look at the Cardano Foundation looking to really focus on stable coins. Again, this is to really improve the DeFi on Cardano. So there's a lot to be really excited for, and I am very excited. And it's going to be something to behold, I believe. And we haven't even touched on the fact that Bitcoin liquidity is accessible, right? With the Bitcoin bridge, you got midnight. There's so many different fundamental changes that are on the horizon that are going to play a huge part in how Cardano is perceived in the future. Yes, a little bit more slow in its development, but ultimately it has such strong fundamentals. We got key facts according to this article from TradingView. Cardano ADA recovers from drop, faces resistance at 72 cent. I mean, obviously the market's pulled back since then, but ultimately I think a lot of people are predicting a big move to the upside. I do think that shorts are going to suffer from some liquidations very, very soon. Cardano ADA is on the brink of 70 cent, obviously pulled back since this article was written just hours ago. Could flip midterm sentiment as Cardano Ripple chatter fuels momentum. So the talks of a big partnership collaboration with Ripple XRP is definitely something that is moving the needle when it comes to Cardano. The chatter, at least the sentiment, these are all really positive things. We're excited about everything that's happening with Cardano, and ultimately I go back to anybody that is a Bitcoin maxi. We take a look at the last year. It's up 56.95%. Now if you actually go to Cardano, you look at the whole year, it's up 74.57, meaning that if you had invested a year ago in Bitcoin and Cardano, your investment in Cardano would have performed better. Even when we look at, say, BNB, for example, up 75.49%. Everybody raves about, BNB, but actually Cardano's performed pretty similar numbers. XRP up 341%. Again, probably one of the best investments over the past year when it comes to crypto investing. Solana, we're going to take a look at this. It's only up 8.98%. And you see how much people have been raving about some of these projects. I really wanted to just enlighten our community as to, what is actually going on, right? Obviously, this stuff, is there in plain sight to be seen, right? We've talked about the performance of altcoins, what our anticipations are for different crypto projects. And ultimately, we called XRP, we called Cardano, and some others that perhaps haven't performed as well. But ultimately, we've been telling you Dino coins are not the ones that you should be, not paying attention to. We've been saying pay attention to them. There's a lot going on, and I would actually look at one other altcoin, right? Because we talk about Bitcoin, right? And we talk about it being a store of value. It's like gold 2.0. But like I've got to say it, Litecoin has got to be the silver, and it hasn't really moved yet. And ultimately buying this particular altcoin at these prices reminds me a little bit of the Ethereum play back in 2020. If you had invested in Ethereum and you would have been getting it at less than $100, and it's now almost 5k, or has recently been as high as or close to 5k. So I think that gives you an idea of what is probably possible with some of these older altcoins. But you can let me know your thoughts, your opinions. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.